Yo, salute everyone. What's good? What's good? Salute everybody. Knicks Real Talk. We in the building, man. Let's get it popping. I got my man Chop Powers in the building with me. We're gonna get in here and talk about this RJ Barrett thing, man. Knicks Real Talk season review. Gonna get into it, get it popping, talking about RJ Barrett, player number 3 today. We already did Julius Randle, we did Evan Fournier. So now we're gonna move on to RJ Barrett, talk about his season, what he had going on with the Knicks this year, man, and what we see for him moving forward. But before all that, man, let me bring my partner in crime here. Let's get it popping. Salute.
Salute Divine. Salute to the chat. Let's get it.
Yeah, real talk, man. We in here, man. Salute, man. We just had a great show down there with Dope's Sports Soul Talk, man. My man, the Queen had us on the show, man. It's a great show, Queen. Appreciate you letting us get on with you today and get it popping. So, man, we in here, Knicks Real Talk, man. We in the building tonight, man. Talk about this RJ Barrett thing coming off the Knicks season, man. Year 3. Decent season, a little bit field goal percentage wasn't too great this year, but he did some promising things and some things he need to work on to get better at. But for the he proved in a lot of good categories, but he still got things he need to work on. So that's all a part about the maturation, trying to get better as you move along and as you grow in life. Because hopefully he can take that next step and get better as well. But I was happy from what I seen from him, and we're gonna get it, man. That's a real talk right there. Sharp, good. Oh, let's go see what he's gonna do. But yeah, Sharp Howard, RJ had he had an average season. He got, he got better in certain things, but still things he need to work on. But I like what he did. It's better to go forward than go backwards. You know what I mean? And he just got to work on a couple of things. But I'm really excited about him moving forward, though.
Yeah, I seen RJ this year as it, from his stats, you really couldn't you get a baseline of where he was. This year he shot a lot more, and he played a different style of basketball this year. He was more poised. He was more aggressive. There's, he drove to the hole a little bit more. His percentage wise could be was down from last year, but overall his game was he transferred his game into a more of the number 1 style guy of instead of being the number 2 or 3 guy like he was last year and the year before. So I believe RJ did a very good job of coming into his own this year, and I believe he'll fix all his errors that he's seen this year, because he's a very humble young man. So I know he's working his short jump shot this year. He's shooting 1,000 free throws a day. He'll start shooting more of the off the ball jump shots, catch and shoot jump shots and stuff like that. So I think his game will elevate and be different than it was this past year.
Yeah, he got some things he need to work on, obviously, to get himself at another level, especially if you want to get that max extension that's out there. So he definitely got a lot of things he can get better at, which I think he will. But it's a lot of other things that what's interesting to me. He got thrown in the thrust of being one of the primary defenders on the team, because when you lose Reggie Bullock, you lose Alfred Payton. Now you asking him to be one of them guys. He did all right. It wasn't great, but he did all right. You know what I mean? He didn't back down for no challenges. You know what I mean? He went up against some of the best players in the league. But the good thing about it, it's a learning experience too. Even if you go up against them and they beat you at what you do, but you had the opportunity to learn from your experience and from your mistakes. Say, okay, next time I play this guy next year, I know he's going to go left, we're going to go right, whatever the case may be. So it's really all about the maturation and learning from what you did this year, take it into next year. So you asked him to do what Reggie Bullock did last year for the Knicks. You know what I mean? Coming to the season, a young man at his age, you asked him to guard the LeBron James, the KD, you asked him to guard, the Chris Middletons and all these guys. I mean, whoever position they are, the Jimmy Butlers. So it was a good learning experience for RJ. That's what I'm happy about, because you want to learn as you go, and to get thrown in the thrust of being that primary defender on that team. I think it's important that we've seen that he had a little bit of maturation with that. So I think he's going to the offseason and say, okay, I got to get better with my footwork. Maybe I got to get better with my mid range. I got to hit my free throws. But hopefully that he does do it. You know what I mean? And if he does, like I said, you look at his free throw percentage this year. He shot pretty abysmal from the 2 point. The charity stripe. I beg your pardon. Apologize for that. Salute keeps turning everybody in the chat. He shot pretty abysmal from the charity stripe this year. So he left maybe 3 points a game just off of that alone. So hopefully he can come in the next year and get a better percentage at the charity stripe. Up his percentage shooting wise, because interesting this year he only shot 4-1, but last year he shot 44%.
Mm-hmm.
And he shot almost close to 40% from the 3-point line last year. This year, it seemed like the whole NBA, I don't know what anything had to do with the basketball per se. I know a lot of people were complaining about they changed the ball, but the whole Knicks team kind of shot down in an abysmal number this year from percentage wise and 2-point land. But let's see, man. Let's see how the brother come out. But I did like what I seen. I seen some things I see he need to work on. But I did like what I seen from him. When he was in the slump, he went to the gym that night, shoot 200 free throws, come out the next day, his free throw percentage get better. So it's all about the work. The magic is in the work. So if we keep doing it, Sharp Howard, I think he's gonna be all right though.
Yeah, I just feel he's already, as they say, is a gym rat, and I know that he watched some of the games that he played this year and seen, or possibly saw that his percentage was a little off than it was for prior years. That he missed. He got to the line a lot this year, but his free throw percentage was low. So I think those are some of the things that he's really going to change up a little bit. I think he's going to try to invent himself with a jump shot from the foul line down. I think he'll pull some of those shots a lot instead of driving all the way to the hole. I think he'll do the drive and stop, pop, and shoot. I think that's going to be one of his things this year. So I see a lot of up going for RJ, and I think RJ's next year will be a big determinant factor of what his contract will be or how they will extend him or what they'll do. I don't know how or what they're going to do this year, if they're going to uh, what they're going to pay him or what RJ is looking for. But this is going to be one of the days that we could really see how. I mean, in the coming days, we'll see how RJ will get his game together and see what he could do for the Knicks next year.
Yeah, real talk. Salute to my brother KJ Evans, our partner in crime. KJ's out there with the family holding it down, man. Salute KJ. We got you, my brother. Hope you enjoy yourself out there. Real talk. But what's interesting to me, like I said, he got thrown into the thrust of being, he growing to learn how to be that number 2 guy in the Knicks, obviously, with Julius Randle being the number 1 guy this year, coming into the year anyway. Then you ask, he's going to be that number 2 guy. What's interesting to me, then, like this whole team, because of the new pieces, everybody had to find a way to get some continuity, to try to get some chemistry and all that. And it kind of didn't really take place after the season, almost halfway through the season. Then everybody's numbers started getting better because it's amazing that it took that long to get continuity. But, it finally started getting there. And then you seen RJ lifting his game up. You seen Fournier getting his game up. You seen all the Knicks starting to play better in the second half of the season because I guess the continuity wasn't there. But when you lose guys like Alpha Payton and Reggie Bullock, who was a really important piece to our defense, and at least you knew they didn't demand the ball. Like you didn't have to worry about Alpha Payton and Reggie Bullock needing the ball in their hand as opposed to Kemba Walker needing the ball in his hand. And then before they pretty much needing the ball in his hand because they was known as scorers. So I think Julius Randle and RJ did kind of take a little step back because of that, because now you got 4 guys who need the ball as opposed to maybe 2 guys who constantly need it because, like I said, Alpha Payton didn't need the ball. You know what I mean? He wasn't a scorer, and Reggie Bullock just was a 3-and-D dude. Like it didn't like he had to come down court. I got to give him the ball, but you had to do that with Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier and Alec Burks because they scorers. And that's what they demand. So I do think that might have played a little bit of role in some of the Knicks' inconsistency this year because it just was too many people needed the ball. And I think that played a role with the way they went down this year. But other than that, I'm looking forward to what RJ gonna do in this 4th year. If he want that money, he had to go out there and earn it. You know what I mean? He's earning it now, but I mean he's gonna have to really earn it if he's gonna get a super max. But I do think that the young man got it in him. I think he got it in him. I think it's in his character. I think it is in his nature to get better every day. He say he want to be great, but it's gonna be a time where you got to show it now because now you could be one of the few guys that the Knicks drafted, or one of the 2 guys that the Knicks ever drafted that they extended. So let's see if that could take place for him. But overall, the season numbers wasn't too great. Let me throw the stats up there. We can get into that right quick and just show you what RJ did this year. And for the Knicks, man, for the season 2022, 70 games, minutes about pretty much the same. He really did didn't have too much of a shabby season, to be honest with you. Like I said, 70 games. TS was 5.11, 4.66. Rebounding, it wasn't too bad, but he it's a lot of everything can improvement for sure, and we got to hold himself accountable for that. But I also think that he didn't have a bad season. I really didn't. I thought that he did enough to get recognized. Like, here you go, right here. That's what I want to show you guys. 34 minutes a game, 20 points a game. Field goal attempts 7 a game. Field goal attempts with 17, pretty much made 7 a game. So that's the reason why he got that 408 shooting percentage, which he definitely got to get that up. He averaged 5 3-pointers a game. He made 2, 34%, opposed to last year when he shot 39. So he got to get that up. I think it was an off shooting year for everybody. But, his numbers were pretty much wasn't too bad, too shabby. Credible 5 rebounds, 3 assists. I would love to see him get his playmaking numbers up a little more, shot powers. Turnovers, like 2 a game. But he only had 2 fouls a game. He stays in the game. He was pretty much, other than that, because he got hurt with the ankle situation and all that. It's only why he only played 70 games. But you can't sleep on his effort and what he put forward this year. So like last year, if you look at it, he shot 44% last year. He was knocking it down. Last year, he shot 40% from the 3-point line last year. So it's not like he's not capable of doing this. You know what I mean? You shoot 40% last year, you dropped 6 points this year. But like I said, everybody dropped this year. I think that basketball that the NBA put in place this year, a lot of people didn't like the ball, it seems like. Because across the NBA, a lot of people numbers was down per se. But other than that, if he can get back to what he did last year, shoot 45% or better, and get that 3-point back up to where he shot last year, I think he'd be all right. I really think he have a chance to make up for what he went through this year and bounce back and have a better year for sure.
There's no question that I think right now with the stats you just showing on the thing on the screen, and the stats that he already sees, and all the tapes and some of the games that he shot, and watching himself, from afar, I believe that next year his percentage should turn around a little bit, a little better, if he could get a little better, 44%, 45%. If he could get to the 3-point line and shoot 38, 39% from the 3-point line. But the major thing that he has to change, no matter what he does this year, is his biggest thing that he needs to ascend to this year is his free throw shooting. He has to shoot 80% or in the 80s, 81, 82, 84. He has to shoot, because with him going to the hole as much as he's going, as many fouls as he is getting, as many times as he's getting to the line, he has to be more of a 9 for 11, 10 or 12, something like that. He can't go in next year and shoot be 11 for 17, 10 for 17. He has to get better at the free throw. If he gets better at the free throw line, then his points per game goes up. He'll be easily 23, 24 points a night. I think he drives the ball to the hole about 6, 7 times a night. Shoots about 3 to 5 3-pointers a night, and he gets to that line pretty much. So if he can improve from the free throw line and push his percentages up a couple of ticks, I think he'll be in a great way. I think he'll be ideally someone to look for in the All-Star game for to make an All-Star game.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. Yeah, I agree, Keith. And you know what? And that's the thing that he got. I think that's what he know. I'm quite sure he know what he need to do to get better. And I think he will. I just think that it's in him. Some people just got it in you to want to be good. He like I said, he 14, 17, 20. It wasn't 14, 11, 7. It didn't go the other way. It went the other way. You know what I mean? It went the way you wanted it to go. It's not, so it's good to see that in his rookie year, he shot these numbers. Last year, he had a good year. Last year, he shot almost 45% from the floor, shot 40% from the 3-point line. So it's not like he's not capable of doing it. You know what I mean? Like I said, this year, to me, with the way they constructed that whole Knicks team, it's hard to get in a rhythm when you got everybody who need the ball. That's why, much as I liked it in the all season, that, well, we got 3-point shooting, but what I didn't like is Kemba Walker needed the ball. RJ needed the ball. Randall needed the ball. Fournier needed the ball. It's like, you know what, you need maybe two or three guys who need the ball, and the rest just plug in valuable other pieces. Like, you know, you don't need this guy like Mitchell Robinson. That's what I love about Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson don't need the ball. We need Mitchell Robinson to do what he do. You know what I mean? So that worked for me, because everybody can't shoot the ball. We need somebody who's going to rebound, who's going to give assists, who's going to play defense. You know, and then when you got four guys, everybody demanding the ball, I just thought that was a little bit the reason why I could see why I went this way, because you can't be selfish with the ball. You got to pass it. Everybody got to get a taste of the ball. You know what I mean? When you got a lot of scores, everybody gonna want to score. So I think that's the main reason to me why I think our field goal percentage went down in the starting lineup, is because everybody needed the ball. RJ had to get his points. But he had 7 attempts. Randall had like 7. They had about the same attempts. Like Randall had about 7 attempts. 7 attempts. I mean, you know, from that area, RJ did, and so you add an Evan Fournier, then you add in this, and then when everybody's stretching the floor shooting, Mitchell Robinson was the only one grabbing rebounds. You know what I mean? So it's just tough when you got too many shooters out there. And that's why I like the way you look at the way Phoenix is built. You got Devin Booker as their main guy. You got Chris Paul. Like Markel Bridges don't need to be a scorer with the ball in his head. He get his points by rebounding, you know, somebody throwing an assist to him and getting an open shot. And it's not like he got to put the ball on the floor and create his own shots. And I think that could have been the problem with the Knicks this year. Coming out of the gate, we had too many guys who needed the ball. Sister, appreciate you, Priest. And you know, that's what it was for me, was that we coming into the season, we just had too many guys who need that ball in the starting line. It was all right to never have enough offense, but they don't need to be in all at the same time. So I think the Kemba Walker and the Evan Fournier thing was, you know, the Reggie Bullock didn't need that ball. You ain't had to worry about, not Reggie Bullock, I'm going to say Elfrid Payton. Elfrid Payton 9 out of 10 was trying to get somebody a shot. You know what I mean? Opposed to Kemba Walker, who was trying to get a shot. Reggie Bullock looked for somebody to get him the ball to get a shot. Opposed to Evan Fournier, need the ball to get a shot unless you pass the ball, he knocked down an open three. You know, something of that nature. So that's where it was for me, was that the way the RJs and Randall's and everybody's took a step back here because of the way the offense was constructed, but that's not here or there. But overall, though, I was impressed with him. I had no problem with his year. You know, he got to get better with efficiency. We know that's his Achilles heel right now, and we also know that he came out of college not being a three. They know he wasn't a good shooter coming out of college, but he worked on his game. Like I said, the man shot 40%. You can't take that from him. Like, the numbers don't lie. RJ Barrett had a good year last year, and everybody did. Maybe because of the short season, maybe a lot of people not being in the gyms at the beginning of the year, but still his numbers last year was pretty decent, because I do think that it flowed better with Elfrid Payton and my man. I really believe that. I just think that they didn't take shots away. They didn't take rhythm away. They didn't care whether they got the ball on. Randall got them the ball when they needed it, or whoever, you know. So I think it made a interesting scenario for the season. But I think he come back next year ready. I think he come back here improved. Shaw Powell. I think he improved coming back off the summer. And I think he improved. Hopefully he get better.
You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you, but you're echoing again.
Yeah, I just heard it in my headset too. Hold on.
But yeah, man. But we get into that, and I'm gonna get in. I throw the video of RJ Barrett, little promo I put together, show you some of his strengths and weaknesses, show you some of his skill set that he has, man. And let's run into the while Shaw Powers do that, I'll run into the RJ Barrett video highlights of the season, just to show you what the brother was doing this year. Yeah, man. We're back, man. Just a little quick, just to show you some of his skill set, man. He's a multi-dimensional player. You know what I mean? And once he get that field goal percentage up, he gonna be a problem because he can do it from a lot of places. You know what I mean? As you watch the film, the bits and pieces here and there, the man can score in the paint a little bit. He can take the ball and shoot the three ball. He can drive the ball in the lane. He can get out on a fast break. He can play in the paint. He can drive to the basket. So once he improve his percentages. See, and that's what's different than to me when I compare him to Randall and all these guys. 9 out of 10, RJ can get it from all over the place. But like some of these guys, we got they selling for jumpers a lot. If they jump shot not popping shot powers, then they scoring they ain't gonna be that good that game. But at least one thing about him, once he get the efficiency up, he doing it from every angle. He doing it from all dimensions. He's a three-dimensional scorer, all levels. He can shoot the three ball when it's on. He can drive the ball when it's on. He got the little mid-range game when it's on. He got the little bully ball, and he run the floor. So if he once he put that percentage together, RJ gonna be good to go because he does it from a lot of different angles. Like you look at our team this year, a lot of people would only score with the jump shot. And even that's why, which would get me upset about Randall. Like Randall, you should be taking that ball to the hole to dunking all cats. You know what I mean? Or stop pulling up with the jumper all the time, especially when it's not falling. So when Randall running the floor and Fournier and them going in the lane, breaking down the defense and getting buckets, that just gives you more opportunities, the different ways to make baskets. And that's what I like about RJ because he does do it in a lot of different dimensions. And then that's why I put that clip in there to let you know the man, he just got to work on his game, work on his mid-range game, get his free throw shooting up, hit his 3-point shot back to where it was last year. RJ give you 24 in a game easy, and it'd be efficient. It might even be more. And with the right point guard to put on the floor for these guys to put them in their right spots and know when to get on the ball. Say, you know what? Wow, RJ man slacking. RJ had a nice cut to the basket, but see, Alex Burks and them don't see that. Or you know what I mean? That's why we need point guard to give these guys the ball in the right spot because you get Randall, RJ, and Mitchell in the ball in the right spot, they probably be better offensive players. But we definitely need a facilitator to put with them for they can be able to break these guys down and do this because you can spread the floor for RJ 9 out of 10. He going to the bucket. He gonna either make the basket to get fouled or he gonna miss, obviously. But once he get efficient, I think he's gonna be good, Shot Power. That's why I'm really excited about him.
Yeah, I'm super duper optimistic for RJ. I believe he's gonna change up his handle a little bit this year.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that he's gonna get a little stronger going to the basket. I think you'll see him use more of his right hand when he drives to the basket, and I believe that he's gonna work on his game to get better this year because I think he wants to be that quote unquote number one guy for the New York Knicks. And I believe that um, if he can make some of these small steps, he doesn't have to go shooting 54% from the free throw. I mean, from the field. I mean, his field goal percentage doesn't have to be 54%. But if he can come up to about 44%, if he could get his 3-pointers, he doesn't have to get up to 47% from his 3-pointers. If he can get up to 38, 39% from his 3-pointers, his one of his major things that aside from him getting a short jump shot is to work those free throws. If he can master those free throws, I see him on a high upswing all year long. I think the refs are starting to notice him a little bit more. I think he's talking to the refs a little bit more, so he gets a little bit more calls than usual. Um, Instead of keeping the ball so low down towards his hip, maybe put the ball a little bit higher towards the face so the refs can see when he gets fouled. And I think he's going to make a big step this year, man. I really think he's going to make a big step this year, and to prove it to himself, and let alone to prove it to the New York Knicks that he's one of the homegrown guys that we need to keep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know what I think he's gonna do just what Julius Randle did. Julius Randle came here last year in a contract year, got it popping. You know what I mean? Got it popping in his contract year. And I think he do the same. You know what, Shop House, I'll take 37% from RJ Barrett from the three
Right.
next year. Take 37% from the three next year. Give me 78%. Anything better than 71. You know what I mean? RJ left a lot of points on the table this year. You know what I
Right.
mean? He left a lot of points on the table. Off the table, excuse me. He left a lot of points off the table, man. You know, he would knock down either 2 or 3 more three, but he could have been 22 point a game, like you said. Where he got to, like Queen said, everybody, I agree 100%. You got to get it efficient. And I think, but like I said, when I look across the board, everybody numbers was down. Not
Yeah,
everybody's,
low
and
40s.
low
Everybody low 40s and
low
under.
40s, everybody 30s and 40s. And like I said, I don't know if that had anything to do with the basketball this year when they went from Wilson to Spalding to Wilson, but a lot of people was complaining about it because you know what, it was a different feel to the ball. You know what I mean? And when you're used to something one certain way, then you got to change something up. You got to get used to it. But I think he comes back a little better. I think so. Whether is it 181 million, I don't know. We'll see. RJ might go in there and surprise everybody this year. You know what I mean, but I know he's a competitor. And he's a worker and he want to get better. He want to be great. So when you got people who got that mindset, what are they going to try to do? Get better. You got some guys who just glad to be here. RJ not just glad to be here. RJ want to be what we want to consider one of the better ones. So I do think that's important for us to have a mentality like that where you want to be one of the better ones. You want people to know that I can help lead this franchise. Because even though you give RJ Barrett a big deal, that don't mean he necessarily got to be the main dude. You still could bring another
Facts.
dude. If you give RJ extension, he don't necessarily got to be the main dude in New York. He just right now that one guy who got extended. You could bring in another guy or trade for another guy, and RJ could be 1B to him. You know what I mean? It could be a 1A. He could be a 1B. So even if you give him a max deal, you might bring in another max player. You know what I mean? Down the line anyway. I'm not saying right this year. I don't think you're going to have the money to do that. But I'm excited about him, though. I've been excited about since he came to New York because he came in here, man, and every year he got better. He took a big step last year. Now, a lot of people took a big step last year, but he regressed this year, so did everybody else. So let's see how it goes next year. Going into training camp, hopefully that sprain knee get resolved and you get back into all-season workouts. Go in there, master his craft, shot power, and help make this team a little bit more formidable next year. Because we got some pieces around him. And we just got to see what the front office is going to do. But I don't have a problem with RJ being in the mix, with bringing, either with what we got or bringing in a couple of more dudes to make them better. You know what I mean? So I think it's going to be interesting to see going forward.
Well, this is the thing I want to say to you, Divine. How do you feel about this is the signing year for RJ right now, and the proposal out there is I think it's 181 million for 5 years. How do you feel about that?
I would wait. I would probably have to wait because until the end of this year, because wait till the end of this year, see what he do. I have no doubt he's going to get there. I believe that. I'm a believer in people with a work ethic because that's how I had to get through life. I didn't have all the supreme education, so I had to get through working hard. You know what I mean? And I worked hard. I kept grinding. I kept scrapping. I worked hard every day. I built a brand for myself out there in the universe because I work hard. Like I said, I didn't have a PhD. You know what I mean? I didn't have all that. So what I had to do is just continue to use my, to work hard. And I think he has that. You know what I mean? And I think he has that. And I really believe that he has that in him. I just think that he has it in him because like he's a pedigree. You know what I mean? He molded from a certain place. You know what I mean? And I think that's what it's going to be for him. So I think he's going to be all right. Shot Paul. Before that, I want to say that, you know what, if they gave it to him, I wouldn't be mad because I think by the time RJ get 23, 24, he's going to be special because he just got it in him. Some people got it in them. RJ came in here as a rookie and handled the pressure of playing in New York. Not everybody can do that. You know what I mean? Not everybody can do it. And remember, RJ had times where his game wasn't good and, people were like, man, we need to trade RJ. We need to get him up out of here. Because every player go through that in New York if you have bad games. Winning cures all. But, in his rookie year, you think about how he came in the league, and I'll pass it to you. He came in the league. He didn't come in here as the third pick, giving the keys to him. He came in here with Marquise Morris, Julius Randle, all these guys that was already established. See, one thing about John Morant and Zion, they was given the keys. Trae Young, they was given the keys. RJ Barrett didn't come in here and they had the keys given to him. He was the third pick. He had to come in here behind Julius Randle, Marcus Morris, all these other guys. He had to defer. He had to defer a little bit anyway. So that's why I think, sometime when you got to like coming out the gate like that, you never really get to take it come out the gate being able to make mistakes or do or show what you really can show, because you still got guys around you who you got to respect because they better than you. You know what I mean? And I think that plays a part in where he at. But I think he handled it well. He handled New York well. He's handling it well. Let's hope he keep going, man. I really like RJ Barrett. I think he's a special ball player for me.
Yeah, I'm right on the lines with you. I believe RJ can play this year out to play for what he wants. He has a spectacular all-star style season, scoring 25, 26 points a night, 7, 8 rebounds a night, 4 or 5 assists, low turnover ratio on good percentage. Yeah, by next year, 180 million would be easy for him to get. I just want him to see. I don't know if it's a lot of people talking, a lot of things said and stuff like that. And would he take a pay cut, or would he take a smaller extension to see where he's at, so they can hopefully he can make one of those all stars, or make a defensive three team in the off season or something like that, so he can get that super max and stuff like that. But I'm hoping that they can. RJ is willing to play this year out to see where he ranks at, because this is also, if I'm not mistaken, I think Morant also is a guy that gets did he get a contract?
No,
I'm
him
not.
and RJ and all of them get the same. They all came in the same
All
year.
right, the same year, right? So I'm not all right. So we'll. I think his market price will be based on what they offer this guy Morant, and I think somewhere in between. I believe that he can reach the 180 million, 180 something million. But let's see where he's at, man. I hope that they just can come together and come together with a reasonable price. If they sign him before October, I think it is October is the date. If they don't sign him by then he has to play the year out, and they
Mhm.
can do it again at the end of the next season or something like that. So let's see where he's at, and I hope he's ready for this, man. I hope I know he's built for it. He has a good mind. You can see him on the floor. He's very dejected with his team and stuff like that. So I hope that RJ is ready to make that move. If it's 125 for 5 years, or if it's 180, I just hope he's ready to make that move for himself for him to get paid.
Mhm. Yeah, you know what's interesting? D Cool put up that, and I understand where they come from with that. Randall ain't get a max, RJ ain't get a max, and it's definitely ways to look at that as well. If you look at their overall game, just look at the game. Randall's he's more of a just he's turned into in this day and age and this time he's more of a jump shooter now. You know what I mean? He's a jump shooter. He occasionally he gets to the bucket, and when he's down in the paint, because I think his low post, excuse me, his low post game might not be like it used to be, because you got a lot of bigger presence down there, and but I think with the right point guard, like Keith Turner said, I think that's one thing I can say about it. Jalen Brunson, he can make a difference with these guys because he a point guard. You know what I mean? He's a natural point guard, and I think he can make RJ game and Randall's game a little better. And I think as well, quickly could do it as well. You know what I mean? But the Knicks got to get a point guard for RJ and Randall and all these guys to take another step. Because I think it's so important to understand. I like Alex Burks, but Alex Burks don't think like a point guard. So when he got an opportunity to set up an offense, put the guys in the right spaces, the right spots, let them know when to set up the pick and roll, or know when your man about to switch, or blah blah blah, whatever. They not quarterbacks. We don't have a quarterback in New York. You know what I mean? And until we get a quarterback, it's gonna be hard for these guys to get buckets easy sometimes. Because the Knicks, we come down court, spread the floor, Evan Fournier in the corner, RJ over here, Mitchell right there, Randall right there. Now there's nobody in there remotely that I see where when you pass that ball to one, it's just a perimeter game. Knicks got a perimeter game. Let me put it like that. But see, one thing I like about RJ Barrett, he does go downhill. You know what I mean? He does go downhill. Yeah, facts, cash out. You 100% right about that. He does go downhill, and he once he get that play making a little better, I think RJ still should be averaging 4 or 5, 6 assists a game. I mean, he's a willing passer, but sometimes he might get caught up in the scoring, and he might but that particular game he might be a little selfish that game. But I think I think he's a willing passer. If he can up his passing and work on some other things, I think he's gonna be all right. You know what I mean? So but that's the story of RJ Barrett, man. I think we got a good little prize package in him. But like I said, you never know what the Knicks might do. I mean, he's not anybody's not tradable. They can trade him, but I don't think they would. I think RJ Barrett will get extended in New York, and whatever they give him, I'm gonna respect what the Knicks did. If the Knicks don't give him the max, I'm gonna respect what they did. If the Knicks give him the max, I'm gonna respect what they did. I'm gonna hope that he's gonna live up to it. But I'm confident no matter what contract. One thing I do feel good about, no matter what contract they give RJ Barrett, I think he'll live up to it.
Facts.
He'll live up to it, no matter which one it is. If they give him a extension, if RJ get an extension at a max deal, RJ Barrett know that he's gonna have to be a max player. He know he's gonna have to go out there and ball out if they give him 180 women. He know that, but I think no matter what they give him, I think he's gonna be worth whatever they give him, because I think he's gonna be that good of a talent moving forward. 21 years old and still learning the NBA, man. But he got it in him though, so I'm happy about that, Shot Powers.
Yeah, I got high hopes for RJ. So I know he's gonna come out and change the minds of a lot of doubters that don't think that he deserves 180. And I'm not saying that I would offer him the 180 myself right now,
Right.
but I believe I believe he could be worth that money in years to come. And he's still young. We always say this. He has been in the league almost 4 years, correct? And he's not young. But when he came in the league, what was he, 18 years old? He didn't know the nuances of the game. He didn't know he was playing behind people on the court. I mean, he, like you said, he had these guys in front of him, the guys that was in front of him. And now he's starting to take a little bit of the reins for himself. That's why I believe he shot more shots this year while his percentage is a little low, because he got out there and he wanted to try to make some make shots that he wasn't used to shooting in years before. So I believe RJ has a high. I think he has some more to come to him, and if he just change his game up a little bit, shoots a little bit more, like we all say, a little bit better at the free throw line. Change his percentages, 1 or 2 percentage, uptick. And I mean, I think RJ will be just fine next year, man. This will be the year for RJ to come out and really get busy and make it to the All-Star. And then what everybody's gonna say after that? He comes out next year, 26 points a game, 8-9 rebounds a game, 4-5 assists, 2 steals. What you gonna say? His percentages are hot. If he evolves, if he really reinvests himself into if he really reassesses himself to himself, he will be a better player next year. And I'm waiting to see him. I believe RJ is going to have a great year next year.
Yeah, I'll be happy. I'll be happy with 45% field goal
Right,
percentage.
right,
45% field goal percentage, 37% from three.
right.
Maybe high 70s at the foul line.
Right.
That alone will put RJ Barrett at 20. Listen, the reason why, because the kid go to the bucket enough. You know what I mean? Everybody else settle for jump shots. RJ Barrett at least goes to the bucket at will sometime. You know what I mean? It's not too many guys in the NBA go downhill like he did. That's how LeBron James was when he was first coming in the league. He just can go downhill. And when he put on a little bit more muscle, he just go downhill at will. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, I can get in the lane anytime I want to. And I think once he develop all them other qualities about shooting and all that, and I think he's gonna be fine, because like I said, the guy came in the league and to the NBA not a great shooter. He had to work on his game, but at 21 years old, we asking a guy 21 years old, he putting up numbers that Fournier and them putting up. See, that's what I always try to let people understand. RJ Barrett putting up Evan Fournier numbers at 21. And so and I think he's gonna be able to get that money because he does more things than Fournier does. He does once he can learn how to rebound the ball more and assist more like Julius Randle, then you got a good problem on your hand. So I'm really excited about that. Yeah, and because like some people say, you got to look at with the way the NBA is. If you get, I don't have a problem with RJ getting what is because it's whatever the Knicks front office is going to give RJ, they're going to give him. You know what I mean? Whether I want them to get 180 million, I wish I want them to get anything they can get. Your life ain't guaranteed. Get anything you can get out. You know,
Yeah,
but get it, just get it. You know, man. I ain't tell no brother not to get his bag. I mean, you know, you do what you got to do. If they're willing to give it to you, go get it. You know what I mean? And I'm a capitalist, brother. So I'm a capitalist, so you know, keep it real. I'm all about that. You know what I mean? But I do think whatever he get, he'll work hard for it. You won't. I don't guarantee you he won't get it. He won't get his bag. He's not the type of player to get his bag and then fall off. He the type of player to get his bag and want to get better so he can go get another big bag.
Facts.
You know what I mean? He's in that mode like the other guys who, well, I got my first contract. I'm gonna show and prove. So with my second contract, you're gonna have to give me more. He's that type of player. You know what I mean? And that's what I would like to see in him. But I'm excited about him, man. I'm excited about our whole team. I like what we got going on down here. We got a great young core around that young man. We got some savvy veterans. I'm good. I'm good with RJ Barrett, Cam Reddish, all these guys, man. Manuel Quickly, Quentin Grimes, Jericho Sims, and Obi Toppin. I'm good with all them dudes because I think we got a nice young thing going in New York, and I just hope the Knicks don't mess it up. But you know, it all depends, like we were saying earlier, like Steph was saying earlier. It all depends what direction they going. I can wait 2 years. I can let these cats develop for 2 more years, and then when they're ready, you just go out there and add the piece to it that you need. And then we get it.
I think that's the idea anyway. I'm hoping that if we can get off of some of the, like they say, the veteran contracts and stuff like that, and run with this young crew, because what that's going to do in the next 2 or 3 years, there will be some big fish out there. And if the team that we have now is not the team that's going to take us over the hump, this is a good auditioning stage to put these guys out on. You know, if we move on from Randall, if we move on from Fournier, this will give Reddish chance to get out there and shine. This will give Grimes chance to get out there and shine. Deuce to get some burn out there. See what Sims is all about and stuff like that. So if we are looking in the future to make some trades, now our guys, our stock that we have, our pieces that we have to the product of the New York Knicks, now they rises. So now it's a little easier to interject these guys to put them into a bigger trade and stuff like that. You know, we raise their value, and it's easier for us to go look for a Donovan Mitchell or DeAndre Murray or some of these bigger names, Cat and stuff like that, because now their stock is rise. If we could get these guys all, over 42, 43%, collectively, these guys, and over the next couple of years, if we are looking to make a bigger move, these guys' value will be better, and it'll be easier to make if we want to go for a Cat, it'll be easier to put these guys out there on the block to get Cat and not give away 4 of them instead of giving away maybe 2 of them and some first round picks. We look to go get Cat now. We're looking to give up OB. We're looking to give up IQ. We're looking to give up Grimes. You know what I mean? We're looking to give up in that 3, 4, 5 first round picks. And I mean, they're not ready yet. So let's build these guys stock up. If we're not looking to, I mean, who knows what these guys can come together and take us to next year, play in, play off, or if they fall short like we did this year. But if these guys' stocks rises, if these guys that we got right now, if we could push their value higher and to make it way easier to get that big fish that we look for. Because right now, to look for a Donovan Mitchell or any of these guys that we're talking about, SGA and stuff like that, they're not coming off of their contracts right now. These guys got 3, 4 more years on their contracts, paying them 25 plus million, 30 million, big money. So in order to move closer to get to those guys, if we raise these guys' stock, we could get closer to get a bigger fish.
Yeah. It's interesting to me, man, because if you look at, here's a prime example, and I want to bring this point up too, and that was a great analogy. So I'll probably right on point with that. They let these guys get good, so if you don't keep them, they got value. I mean, I think that's the whole point of developing these players for the next couple of years. If you don't keep them, they have value. Like you said, instead of having to get 4 players, you can deliver 2.
Mm-hmm.
They have got value because they're a proven commodity. They can go in there and do that. But like I say, even with the young guys, if you look at the Cleveland Cavaliers, Jared Allen's about the same as Mitchell Robinson, age wise, league wise, how long they've been in the league per se. Am I right or wrong? Jared Allen and Mitchell Robinson.
About,
About the same
about
year.
25,
Yeah,
24.
about the
Mm-hmm.
same thing. Yeah, they pretty because they were battling in New York when he was
Mm-hmm.
with the Nets for a while. So then you look at Evan Mobley and Obi Toppin. You know what I mean? Evan Mobley and Obi Toppin. Evan Mobley came in this year. Toppin came in a year or two ago. Same time frame. They're young. They're young. Then you go to the small forward spot. Laurie Market and RJ. Laurie probably was in a year, maybe a year or two before RJ. Still young though. You know what I mean? And then you go to their 2 guard and 1 guard. Garland only been in the league. He young 4 years. You know what I mean? So that's a young team that made the playoff. They was like the 5th or 7th seed. You know what I mean? But see what made it work for them. They even had Alex. Was it Okoro? Okoro was in the league where he came in with Obi Toppin. Yeah, Okoro came in with Obi
Mm-hmm.
Toppin. Karis LeVert. You know these guys are still young. So that's why they made the 7th seed. Because know why? They had guys on the bench like the Kevin Loves of the world and guys of that nature who was a little bit more veteran seasoned to help bring them along. And I think that the Knicks could be the same way. Like Mitchell Robinson is going on his 5th year. RJ going on his 4th year. You know what I mean? Cam Reddish should be going on his 4th year. Quickly be going on his 3rd year. Obi be going on his 3rd year. Them is not rookies, you know what I mean? So I do think that just like Cleveland, if you look at Lonzo, a Mellow Ball, he's a talent, but I'm saying he's still young. Guys like that they brought in there, they got some young pieces there, and if you got the right coach behind them who can teach them to develop them and make them play a certain way, yeah, you can go out there and make it happen. Like I said, John Morant, he's talented, but he's still young. These guys are still young. They was fighting for this last year. You know what I mean? And so I really do think that we can develop these young guys, and if you put the right veteran, I still think they could scrap for the playoff because it's even though you starting these guys, this is my opinion. Even though you starting these guys, that don't mean that they the reason why you win or lose. I mean, I think they're going to be a part of a team. You just got to put the right people on the bench that's a little older than them that'll help carry the weight. Like I said, Kevin Love had a great year this year. You know what I mean? The Kevin Love that we thought that was. You know what I mean? That could have been a Derrick Rose. You know what I mean? It could have been a Derrick Rose. Unfortunately, Derrick Rose got hurt, so he couldn't do what Kevin Love was doing for him this year. But they had a real young starting lineup, but they had them veterans on the bench. Same thing with Memphis. Them cats is young. Jaren Jackson, all of them, but they had some veterans there like Anderson. Look at how young Desmond Bain is. Desmond Bain just got here. John Morant just got here. Jared Jackson just got here. Dylan Brooks just got here. Brandon Clark just got here. They all young like our squad is. You know what I mean? But what they did, they threw in a mixer because you remember Steven Adams there. That used to be Valanciunas. You know what I mean? You got Carl Anderson, who they call Sleepy or whatever because he moves so slow. With San Antonio all them years, they got guys on there that can help carry the load for them when a young guy have a mental lapse. Okay, you know what? I'm going to take you out. I'm going to put this veteran in, and he kind of can hold the rough waters down. And that's what Derrick Rose is. That's what Todd Gibson is. You're going to have to need veterans. And I think that our young team, they got enough talent to put a bunch of guys like that around them and still make the playoffs. You know what I mean? Because if you look around, that happened. It's happening around the league. So we'll see, man. But I think RJ, he can get in there with them guys to make it happen. I'm really looking forward to what he's going to do. And I really do, man. I think he got a chance to go out here and work on his game and come back and be better. Salute to the chat, man. All y'all up in the chat, man. Salute to everybody, man. Thanks for chopping in, coming in, hanging in with the Nick Real Talk, man. Y'all know that's where it's at, is the chat. Me and Shop Powers in the building, KJ out on assignment, man. Helping the family, holding it down. But we good up in here, man. This player 3, Nick's Real Talk, player season review, RJ Badger, that dude tonight, man. We had Evan Fournier the other night. Before that, we had Julius Randle. But this is RJ Barrett night. But I'm looking forward to a shot. I'm just looking forward to what this year is going to bring for the whole team. It's going to be a pretty good training camp this year. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, everything this year is going to be, made to watch. This is going to be some moves. I don't know what the Knicks are going to do. I don't know what the one of the things a lot of the fans talk about is the front. You never hear much from Leon Rose. He doesn't really talk to the media and stuff like that. And in some senses, I agree. You know, he comes out and he does his talk, his one-on-one with a New York, MSG broadcaster. But I'm glad that he doesn't talk to many media type people, because right now we don't know what he's thinking right now. We don't know what the ideas is out there. They went out to the Mavericks, Dallas Mavericks game the other day, and no one knew what was going on. Julius Randle went there, and they met, at the stadium, and no one knew why did they go there. No one still knows if they were looking at if they was looking at Brunson, or if they was looking at Mitchell, or
Anybody.
anybody. They could have been trying to figure out if they make a trade here, or if they want to pull somebody. Because one thing I know that the Knicks do, don't have cap space. But you know who else don't have cap space? The Maverick. Dallas. They don't have much cap space as well. So if we would do anything with them, the New York Mavericks, we could make a trade with the New York Mavericks and make the money match up where the contracts is not banging each other, the Mavericks nor the New York Knicks. So we see what happens, man. They went out there for a reason. It wasn't like they were going out there to have to have fun and have a game, because if that was the fact, I don't think they would have been seen in the crowd. They'd have got them a little box up in the top and been popping bottles up in there, or whatever they do, pop bottles, drink, whatever. They wouldn't have been on where all media could sit and be like, oh, look at the New York front office and all these people over here and out here, and the Mavericks. What are they doing here? And no one still knows to this day. So I believe that this off season is going to be something to watch, man. All as soon as this playoffs is over, soon as May rolls around and the draft, the lot of balls go in, and who we pick up in the trade and all these things. We got a long summer coming right now, and it's going to be short, but it's going to come quick, but it's long. We got a couple of dates that's coming up, and there'll be some things that we'll be watching out for, because the New York Knicks, I believe, are going to make some moves this year. They're not going to stay pat like they've been. I think they're going to do some tricks this from Alla and Rose and Worldwide West and all these guys. I think they're going to do some wheeling and dealing this year.
Yeah. Hey, I did hear that when they were out in Dallas, the contingent was out there. I heard they were scouting Frank Ntilikina. They might give him I heard
Bring him back.
I heard they went out there to send Frank. Bring Frank back in the building.
I thought they might have went out there to go see what Bullock was doing.
Right.
You know
Yeah,
what I
man.
mean?
But you know what? It's gonna be interesting, man. Hopefully, whatever they do, they all the pieces connect. They fit around each other and bring the team. I like where we at. Like I said earlier, I'm good with for a year or two developing these players.
Facts.
For a year or two, it don't take long. Years go by fast, man. Before you know it, it'll be 2024 season.
Facts.
So if you go in here next year, let RJ, let Cam Reddish see if they worth being extended to what you want to extend them for. You know what I mean? But if you don't extend them, they gained enough rep, like you said, where a person would love to have them on their team.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's a win-win no matter what. You develop them, let them get their stock up, like you said. If they stock up to a point where we can keep them, then you keep them. And they stock up, then you're going to trade them. Then they got good trade value. So I would love to see the Knicks going there. Like you know me, I'm perfectly like this here. I'm gonna keep it 100. I said Emmanuel Quickly, R.J. Barrett, Cam Reddish, Obi Toppin, and Mitchell Robinson. I don't have. If you can formulate that team, it's going to be hard to do, because if you send Randall out and formulate them out, you're going to have to send players. But you can send them out for players. They don't have to be started. They can be expiring contracts. You know what I mean? They that way, if you trade Randall, you're going to bring a quality player. And so, but even if it's not Quickly or Cam Reddish, at least the player you bring in from Randall can go in that starting lineup for now. Then so be it. You know what I mean? But I do think that you got enough young talent down there, man. You add in three or four good solid veterans. Obviously you bring Todd Gibson back as a coach or whatever. You know, you got to bring PS67 back in the building. You know what I mean? No question about that. What you do, you bring PS67 back in the building. He mean a lot to this team, man. What he have done for Mitchell Robinson's career, him and Kenny Payne is unbelievable. Mitchell Robinson was a fouling machine. The minute 2 years ago when the Knicks signed Todd Gibson, Mitch ain't fouled out like that since because he got somebody who can teach him. You know what I mean? Look at Jericho Sims' maturation. You know what I mean? So it's important to have guys, quality guys like that who can kind of teach you guys the nuances in the NBA, the ins and outs of the NBA. And I think we got guys like that can make it happen. That way you're not jeopardizing rotation minutes. Like Todd Gibson, if Todd Gibson played 5 games out of the season, he ain't jeopardizing nothing. He ain't jeopardizing nobody's rotation spot. So I always said you go with Mitchell Robinson and Jericho Sims at the 5 for me. For me, Nick starting front court, obviously Mitchell Robinson, Jericho Sims. Then you move on down the line and take it from there. If you want to say the back, you want to say the 3 position is Cam Reddish and R.J. Barrett, so be it. Then you just got to lock down the if you trade Randall, then you say Obi Toppin and whoever. It
Right.
might be like,
That it exactly, Divine, because that's the position that it would be. Because if you could have a starting lineup, and I love that starting lineup that you said, but you could also have a starting lineup of IQ, Grimes, RJ,
facts. Obi.
Obi, and Mitchell Robinson as well.
Mm-hmm.
So the things that the Knicks have to do is shed some of these guys that would take up these young guys' positions. Like I hate to say this out my mouth. I really would like to bring him back, but Burks might be someone that we might have to move on from.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Noel might be definitely someone we have to move on from. Kimba, we definitely have to move on from Kimba. We might have to look to move on from Rose, depending. I mean, I might think I tend to want to keep Rose because I think he would help develop IQ and Deuce. And I think if one of them go down, I think he'd be a good fill-in man, but his contract is still $14 million. You know what I mean? So he might be someone that we might want to look to move on from as
Mm-hmm.
well. So to move those contracts off and to keep all these small contracts from these young guys, we got these guys for about at least 1 more to 2 more years. The Obi Toppins, the IQs, the Sims, the Grimes, the
Course.
Deuces,
Yep.
all those contracts are, the biggest contract is maybe Obi Toppin's contract, which I think is $6 million, $5, $6 million. If we could run those small contracts for another year or so, 2 years, and fill in with maybe if we could move on from Randall and Fournier and let these young guys, the biggest position we'll probably have to look to get is someone to fill in that backup role for Obi. That power forward position. And I think they'll make some smart decisions. We move on. And I keep saying this Harrison Barnes, if we can move on from him, and he could be a backup power forward for Obi, or you want to go out there and see if you want to offer Melo a veterans contract to come in here and back up Obi Toppin. I'd be good with that too. I think if Melo come here and back up for IQ, I mean for Obi, I think that'll make Obi's game a totally different game. I think him and Obi will really mesh, and he'll teach Obi the ways of the world of the NBA. I think so. So either way you want to go with the IQ, the RJ, the Reddish, the Obi, and the Mitch, or the IQ, Grimes, RJ, Obi, and Mitch, that's both fine with me, because that makes the bench players a little stronger, and that makes the starting lineup younger and running gun young. It won't be too much setting up for. I mean, of course, you have to set up for the half court game, but I think we get out on the break a little bit more, and I think we could push the pace a little bit faster with that younger crew. That's what they did in the last couple of games that we watched. So I
Yeah,
believe
man.
that too. And I can say one thing: I don't care if the Knicks are losing. I don't care if the Knicks are winning. That garden is always packed. That garden is always packed. I don't care if we win 22 games a year or if we win 54 games a year. The
Always here.
garden, the garden is always packed. So, the things that the Knicks fans like is for a team that looks like they want to win, and the team that wants to gel together. And this year we didn't look like that. With the two people that we brought in, plus Randall having a bad year. And I don't want to blame Randall for it much, because I think the game would have been a little different if we'd have had D Rose this year and if we would have had Noel this year. I think that would have played a little better for us. You know what I mean? Especially closing out some of these games that we had.
Yeah. You know what? One thing about here's one thing I already noticed about the Knicks. Knicks been struggling for 20 years, and we the third number one. We the most highest. How would I say? Let me say it right. The most profitable franchise is the Yankees, Dallas, and the Knicks, or Dallas, Knicks, Yankees. I mean, it's Dallas, Yankees, and Knicks, or Yankees, Knicks, and Dallas. We still here. Even when the Knicks won 21 games, when we had the Luke Cornett's of the world, we still up in here.
Packed.
We packed. The New York fan base, they love basketball. Whether winning or losing, they it's about wanting to go in the garden, man. It's an experience for these people. And some of these people, man, they some of them just want to be able to take their kids to a game or go in there and see the celebrities and see good basketball, hard basketball. But I do think that we're in a place right now where I still think that if you do, let me ask you a question. That's what I'm trying to say. Do you guys think everything Julius Randle went through this year? How many of you guys foresee him coming back and going 82 games this year? I'm trying to keep it real talk. Do y'all think we could put up with Julius Randle if he go through the same thing for another 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, or 4 years? Do you think the Knicks fan base is gonna boo Julius Randle every time he has a bad game, or if he do something off the cuff, and then you start? Do you think that the Knicks fan base is going to want to put up with that, or do you think Julius Randle is going to want to put up with that for the next 4 years? If Julius Randle don't change his mentality, you guys got to be realistic about Julius Randle, because you don't want that. He don't want that on his conscience every game. Every time he walk in the guard, there ain't no people going to boo him, or if he do something, make one little minor mistake, everybody gonna chop on his head. So do y'all think Julius Randle will be able to put up with that for 4 year extension on his contract with all this noise in New York? When he already having a problem where he don't like to bring his son to a game anymore because of what's going on. So if you think the Knicks gonna put up with that for 4 more years, then I think then okay, then I really don't. I think you can go for the playoffs and get guys to bring in here to go for a championship. I just don't see that happening though. I mean, I just don't see that happening. So that's the reason why I said we gotta, that trade can happen. You might bring Jalen Brunson in here just because you wanted to run with RJ and Obi in them because he fits their timeline. And if you move him for Julius Randle, you're taking Julius Randle 106 million out, you're bringing in his 80 million maybe, and you might have to add a couple of players in here to equal the contract. But that doesn't necessarily mean Jalen Brunson is only he in the same timeline as Mitchell Robinson and Obi and RJ in them. You know what I mean? 4 years coming out of Villanova. It ain't like he's an old dude. You know what I mean? The dude has been in the league. This is 4th year. That's why he's getting this extension. So Jalen Brunson, he's still young. You know what I mean? He's still a young dude. So yeah, I wouldn't put a past them. They do that. Julius Randle might say, you know what? Let me go back to Dallas, get out of New York, because all this stuff is getting kind of crazy right now. And let me get back to Dallas. I love being in Dallas. I'm from Dallas. I like that gym up every time I play. Like I said, he'd probably be a good fit with Luka Doncic. So don't put a past for something like that to happen, because we got to put all that into consideration. Is this man gonna want to be here going through all that stuff for 4 years? I don't even see that. So,
I don't see it, Divine, and the way you say it, I've been saying it for. I don't even. If Randall comes back next year, and Randall is 25, 26 points scoring, uh, 13, 14 rebounds a game, 7 assists a game with low turnovers, 2, 3 turnovers a game. I still think once he hits a slide where he has 3 or 4 games back to back, that I think here come the Knicks fans. You know what I mean? I don't know if I know he said he built for it, man, and I hope he is, because he's gonna have to come out here these next at least 2 years, and come out and be a supernova, man. He's gonna have to high numbers, high rebounds, no late game turnovers. His free throw shooting is going to have to be in the 80, 82, 85%. He's going to have to be high everything, man, because any lacks in this game or anything similar to the season that he had this year, man, oh man, whew, I don't
Yeah.
know, man.
Yep. Here, let me just put this out there. Some of the Knicks fan base do have a keep just a little bit, just a little hit. Not disputing what you wrote out there. They got a lot to say so because they're the ones buying the tickets. You know what I mean? Remember, we out here in this world who watch it on TV. It ain't no big deal. But them ones who paying $300, $400 in that ticket and to coming up in that arena every night to spend their hard-earned money. If them cats start booing Julius Randle, I guarantee you, when you start messing with people's bottom line, everything changed. Everything changed. And it happens, and not only in all sports. When you see players go through certain things, well, we better move him because he's messing with the bottom line. You know what I mean? If I'm hoping not. I'm hoping Julius Randle come back to New York and work it out, and then everything is good. I like Julius Randle, but for the sake of the team, if Julius Randle have a bad, I don't care if Julius Randle going to one game shooting slump. He in that game shooting up bricks. It's just going to be flashbacks. You know what I mean? I agree. I bear witness to that. He got I'm not denying his contract. I get all that, but I do think that he could be moved. If you can move Westbrook for $44 million 4 times in a row every year, anybody's contract is movable. I don't care who you are. You might not get back what you want, but it's movable. Westbrook got 44, 45 million. He's been getting traded for the last 3 years. You know what I mean? Oklahoma City to Houston to Washington and might get moved again. Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. They will. But Queen, I agree with you 100%. But I still think, put it like this here. Look at what we're going through this year with Julius Randle. Everybody ready to run that boy up out of here. That young man, not that boy, that young man up out of here. So I just think that it's easy to do that, man. People, let's go to football, we go to baseball. Once you turn sour to a fan base, it's not a good look, because that means when every time you come up in an arena, it's gonna be it's gonna be some type of drama, put it like that, and it's not good for TV. It's not good for that. That's especially playing in our market, playing in the New York market. Think about the ESPNs and the Stephen A's and every NBA back. All they do is go on them TVs and just throw hyperbole about the Knicks. The minute we can't, every little thing, like I was looking at the game the other night. When Kyrie flipped the bird up in Boston, did all that. Some people were supporting it, but let that been Julius Randle. You understand what I'm saying, Shot Powers? When Kyrie flipped his bird up in Boston to the crowd and everything, you had cats on all the media that were like, yeah, I understand why he did it. They did some, but let that been a New York Knicks who did that. See, that's the difference. It's the difference to me is that New York name, man, the Madison Square Garden, the Knicks, James Dolan, people just got it out for the Knicks for the right or wrong reasons. And a lot of them don't even make no sense when I hear it on TV. Like because we had a bad season, we a stink team. No, we didn't have a bad season because we stunk. We had a bad season because like a lot of other teams, we had injuries, we had COVID, we had this and that. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of reasons why. I don't think the Knicks was a bad team this year. I just think we had a bad situation with the players that we got injured and things of that nature and things just in jail early enough. But think about it, we was in it to the last minute. Like I said, Shot Powers, we lost 10 or 15 games just shooting free throws.
Easy.
Missing free throws. We in the last part of the season, we had almost 6 games where we shot 60% from the free throw line. And we lost the game by probably like 3 or 4 or 5 points. But we missed like 10 or 11 free throws. So salute Jet for life. Salute my brother. Salute to the chat and everybody. So I don't think that our season was that bad. But I don't think that Julius Randle had a bad season because he's not talented. I think bringing in the talent that we brought in with him kind of messed up the chemistry a little bit. See, one thing last year they had chemistry. This year they didn't have no chemistry, and it kind of threw everything out of sync. And like I said, you look across the board, everybody had a bad. It wasn't only Julius Randle, RJ Barrett, Evan Fournier shot bad from the 2-point line. RJ Randle, you name it, everybody was shooting bad. So it wasn't one particular player. You know what I mean? I just think that's what it was. You know what I mean? And that's why you got to take all that into consideration. So if Randall stays, I'm good with it. I ain't got to. And if Randall goes, I'm good with it. You know, I support the name on the front, not the name on the back. You know what I mean? So, but I do think that if Randall willing to move on, see, you got to think about this here too. Think about Randall, what he said in the press conference, how he felt about his son, why everybody booing him. His son didn't understand why people was booing him, or he didn't like, you know, it wasn't a good look. So, you know, it's not only about him, it's about his family. It's about every time he go home. If he have a bad night in New York, is Julius Randle going to go home and say, I had a bad night at the game? So how's it going to affect his household? That's any player, not Julius Randle. I'm just putting about Julius Randle because we're speaking about him. But no matter what player it is, if you have if things not going right, it don't only affect you on the court. You might take it home. You might take it home. You know what I mean? Like, and then you like, man, I don't feel like talking. I'm angry. They're getting up. You know, a lot of stuff plays a part in this stuff because they're human beings, man. They're human just like us. You know, we put them on pedestals, but they still breathe and speak and do the same shit we do. You know what I mean? They got feelings and emotions too. They you know, and they got families too, man. So, you know, sometimes you got to take all that in totality, and it's a business as well. But let's hope the Knicks and Julius Randle work it out whichever way. But I do think that the Knicks should move on from Julius Randle. That's my opinion, because I just don't think for 4 years it's gonna happen. I don't think. I know our fan base, and if Julius Randle ain't got the right person to keep him in check, then how would it go? You know what I mean? So we'll see. But I think we'd be good though. I just want to get, you know, we were talking about that situation, but that's the reason why I want him to move. We can bring these young guys in here, let them play for a couple of years, bring a couple of veterans behind them. You know, you could have veterans, but they don't got to be the veterans that necessarily got to start the game. I don't believe that. I believe that a lot of teams over the years, I remember you would have like a nice team, but you have veterans who was on $1 million, $2 million deals, Shot Powers, who wasn't getting no time, but they were so like the Udonis Haslam's of the world, the Todd Gibsons of the world. They don't have to eat up rotation minutes, but you need them on the team. And I think with these young guys having mentors like that, that's why people think the Carmelo Anthony thing is crazy. No, it's not. It ain't crazy at all. Carmelo ain't going to eat. He going, even if he back up Obi Toppin. Let's say Obi Toppin start the game right, and he go 0 for 4 right then and there. Shit, Melo come in there and switch that shit up in a minute. You know what I mean? He could come in there and switch that up in a minute, and then when Obi Toppin, you know, get back in the game, he probably done got the foot under him. It's no problem with putting dudes out there like that. That's what I like about Derrick Rose. Last year when Alfred Payton didn't get it popping, what did we do? Derrick Rose came in there, and he got it popping. You know, you put them savvy guys on the bench, but give that young energy to them dudes in the front, man. Like I said, if you want a model, I'm gonna keep saying it, the Memphis Grizzlies. You can't get a better model than that. You know what I mean? That's how you got to roll, man. Roll like them dudes rolling. And you know, and look where they at. And they ain't championship bound yet, but they on their way there. You know, they elevate and Shop Powell. Now I think that's what we got to do.
Yeah, it's no question about that, man. And I'm more on the side of moving on from Randall and
Agreed.
letting letting these guys for the next year or two, if we make the play in playoff, so be it. You know what I mean? But by that second year of these guys being here, it'll be we would know where the team is and what we need to do. We can gather up some money by then. By 24, I think the kicker goes up for us to 150. So that means that with the luxury taxes probably be a little bit higher. So I mean, we have some things that that the Knicks, we have nothing to say about what they're going to do.
Right,
They
right.
they will make the transition to what they need to do and what they need to see. I mean, like I said, I'm my two guys that I talk about a lot is moving on from Randall and moving on for Fournier. Fournier just to open up spots for Cam Reddish, for Quentin Grimes, and for Randall to get peace of mind. It's not really to fill in a player for Randall. I would like to get someone that's like a almost starting type of person, but if we don't get an almost starter person, and from the other two trades, we can move in two or three veterans for Randall at the same price. I'm also okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple of things that could be traded and still move Randall and get some younger kind of guys here, and maybe fill the roster up with 2 or 3 quality veterans, or keep 1 or 2 of the veterans that we have now.
Remember what I
So
was saying early
it's a
in the
couple of things, man.
year? You know what? Remember what I was saying early in the year, Shop, how you could have traded Julius Randle for Kevin Love straight up.
Yeah,
You could have traded Julius Randle with Kevin Love, and here, check it out. Kevin Love about to expire, bro.
right,
He, and look, he was in what, most proved player of the year category this year. Kevin
mm-hmm,
Love was in that category. So you could have moved Julius Randle, but let's hypothetically say a Kevin Love and pieces, whatever picks. I know you got to put more with it, but what I'm saying is Kevin Love could have backed up Obi Toppin at the four, just like he's backing up Mobley.
right,
See what I'm saying? He could have came and backed up Obi Toppin. I don't have a problem with Obi Toppin starting. You got Kevin Love back there.
right.
And knowing that Kevin Love got that money coming out the books, so you got to say we took in 31 million. We took in 31 million, but we're about to get rid of 106 million. That's if Randall. But let me ask you a question. I don't think Randall would have had a problem going to Cleveland with that team. You know what I mean, or something of that nature. Even if Randall willing to go out to L.A., people laughed at the Russell Westbrook. If you send Randall, whoever out for Russell Westbrook, I would do it just for the 1 year on Russell Westbrook contract.
Mm-hmm.
1 year. Let them play there, and once a year is over, you cleaned your whole books up, cleaned all the books
And,
up.
and reality, you don't even have to wait to the whole year. You can
Trade
wait to wait to the trade
trade
deadline. You know what I
deadline,
mean?
yeah.
You
So
don't even have to keep him for the whole year. If he's not working on it in the beginning of the season, and
I'm
you
out.
get down to the trade deadline, and he's not, who knows where he could come and be when he comes here. Maybe he could come back and reinvent himself, and because I think he had a problem him with LeBron. You know what I mean? Both those guys like the ball a
It's
lot, so
style. It's
I
style
think.
of play. Mhm.
Yeah, so bring him here for a year, see what happens. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure if he comes here, if he's not looking good, like at the trade deadline, I think he'll be able to be moved again. And like we all talk about, Divine, about Julius Randle contract being 25 million. Russell Westbrook last 4 years has been traded, and he's a 40, 44, 42, 44 million dollar contract, man. And it's not, I mean, he is a different style of player than per se Julius Randle, but 44 million, 25 million, I don't think there would be, and he's not even 25 million. I think it's 23 million because he didn't hit his
Yeah,
incentives
all the
last year.
incentives, yeah, yep.
Yeah, so it's only
Yep.
23
You know what's
million.
interesting to me? Because see, somebody like LA, long as LeBron there, AD there, certain play, they're gonna try to win something. So to if they did want to move Westbrook, check it out. Fournier, 18 million. Nerves of well, 10 million. That's 28 million. You throwing Alice Burks, which they was gonna do anyway. They were about to send Alice Burks and Cam Reddish to the Lakers at the trading deadline. But let's say
Hmm.
you did Alice Burks, Evan Fournier, and Nerves, a healthy Nerves well. Help them three dudes that help that team. You know what I mean? It ain't like you sitting in them scrubs. Alice Burks will help the Lakers. You know what I mean? Evan Fournier will help the Lakers. You bring back Russell Westbrook. You got rid of them contracts. You got Russell Westbrook for 1 year.
Hmm.
You cleaned your books. You got 44 million. You got RJ's money and whoever else money you want to give up. You know what I mean? So and then you still roll out Russell Westbrook, who I don't care if it's, let's say Quentin Grimes, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson. I don't for 1 year I wouldn't have a problem with that. At least now you still got a playoff team.
Facts.
For now you saying that we look what we gave up. We didn't give up none of the youth, but you still got Grit and Grimes starting. You got RJ starting. But only problem I'm going to see is going to be the Obi Toppin thing. You know what I mean? That's about it. But you still see quickly going to get his minutes. You still see the guys going to get their minutes. But at least you got the Knicks still in contention to be a playoff team, and you will be done clear $44 million too. So I mean, the things like that is they in a good spot, man. You just got to make sure they do their due diligence. But I don't have a problem. I would not have a problem with Russell Westbrook, R.J. Barrett, Quentin Grimes,
Mhm.
and Julius Randle and Mitchell Robinson. I would not have a problem with that team. I think that team better than Atlanta. I don't care what you got Trey or not. I think that team better than them. I mean, you know, and I think they better. I think that team better than Charlotte team. I think that team better than a lot of the bottom feeders down there because you got a guy like Russell Westbrook. Despite you might think about him for 1 year, that's a walking Hall of Fame up in there. You know, Julius Randle will respect Russell Westbrook. You know what I mean? And he got the attitude to play in New York. We need dogs. He a dog. He got the attitude, and I just think you grow like that. So, but I think we good though. Shop out. I think we in a good spot no matter which way we go, ladies and gents in the chat. I just the Knicks got to do it the right way. Just do it the right way. But they got a lot of options out there. If you think it's Jalen Brunson, if you keep like Keith Turner said, we keep Randall bringing Jalen Brunson, okay, then we roll with that. The only thing with that is that you just want to have him for 4 years on the books. You got his 20 million, you got Randall's 20-something million. You got to wait till maybe to move Fournier maybe in his next year. If you keep Fournier one more year, then you can move in the next year because it'll be aspiring. Then you give RJ his money. But you might wind up, you're gonna be losing players like you might have to lose Mitch because I mean you could extend RJ over the cap, I guess. You know, as long as you don't go with luxury, you know, you can extend them. But I know, so it's interesting, man. I would love to be a fly on the wall in the Knicks front office, Sean Powell. I tell you that much. I know they've got a lot of stuff they got to deal with there, man. But let's hope that, you know, whatever they do, we got a draft coming up. We don't know what that's going to be like. If they're going to decide to move up on the draft, take somebody, move up, move down, keep the pick. Or whatever, you know what I mean? But you know, they got some good ways out there. New York do got a way out of there. We just gotta wonder is with the you know, will you guys be happy with bringing in guys like that? People don't like Westbrook. They think calling Russell Westbrook brick. I don't have a problem with Russell Westbrook. His numbers speak for itself. It's just that yeah, okay, you know, but and I think you're right, Keith Turner, they probably run that team back next year. I think they probably ain't gonna have no choice to run the team back next year, really. Because them contracts are big. You know what I mean? You hear it all out there. AD ain't going nowhere. LeBron ain't going nowhere. I ain't going to never say never, guys, because anything can happen. You know what I mean? It's the NBA. Anything can happen. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody guaranteed anything. You know what I mean? So, but they might roll back. They might do. I think the Lakers might roll back with them three, and I think they like Malik Monk out there. They like him a lot. So, you know, they might do some wheeling dealing outside that core and keep him there. Westbrook by not. Hey, listen. I'm not sure Jalen Brunson even going anywhere.
The facts, especially with facts.
Going to sign him. Yeah.
They might try to move something to keep him because he playing some ball right now, man.
Yeah, man, he balling out. And Cuban said early in the year he wasn't trading him. But that's you could say that just to say it to the media. But who knows if he's going to be moved? He might not go nowhere. They might have still give him his money because they see what he's doing. You know, they like his stock rising. They might say, you know what, hey, we'll keep you. We'll try to ship out Tim Hardaway or somebody for you can get his money. You know what I mean?
Right.
We might have to move out Maxi Kleber or a couple of other guys.
Facts.
To keep Jalen Brunson in the house. You know what I mean? And that's what it's about, though. They might say, nah. You know, look what you do. Imagine if Luka was playing right now. They probably feel like they'd be deeper. So he probably like, listen, man, we'll give you $25 million right now, whatever. So he ain't guaranteed to go nowhere. I mean, we just said because we know it's out there. But deep down inside, Dallas might not even move that dude, man. They might not even move. They might just extend him and keep him part of that thing there and let him roll, you know. So we'll see. But it's all good, man. You know, like I said, we the night topic with RJ Barrett, Shaw Powell. I'm looking forward to what he's gonna do coming up the next year, his maturation and his elevation. See if he can take another step in his career. And make the Knicks better. You know what I mean? He get better, Knicks get better. Our players get better, we get better. You know what I mean? Right. We hope we want all these guys in the Knicks to progress. I don't care who they are. I want Julius Randle to be successful. I want Mitch to be successful. Every one of them guys, I don't care. I want them to be successful. You know what I mean? You know, I never about nobody taking food off the table. You know what I mean? Go get your money, man. You know what I mean? You work hard to get that money. So let's hope that it works out for the Knicks. And RJ Barrett can come back and have a bounce back year. The whole team had a kind of down year shooting wise. Wasn't only RJ Barrett, wasn't only Julius Randle, wasn't only Fournier. Quickly had a down year. Obi had a down year at the beginning. The whole team had a down year from a shooting percentage standpoint. It got better in the second half of the season. But let's see how it goes. But we'll be in tune. But Sunday we get it popping, man. The fourth player on the Knicks season player review is Mitchell Robinson. So Sunday we'll be talking about Mitchell Robinson. We'll be getting a popping Sunday about Mitchell Robinson. I got all the the stats. I got the video popping already, working on all the stuff there. So We get Mitchell Robinson up in here Sunday, man. We talk about Big Money Mitch, man. What the Knicks going to do with him should be a good topic of conversation. And we getting close. We getting closer to the lottery. This month going by pretty fast. Shot Power to be
facts.
Be going by pretty fast. A couple of weeks from now, we be talking about the NBA lottery and see. Hopefully, we can climb up a couple of ping pong balls. You know what I mean, and get it popping.
I mean, that's going to make a big thing too. If you know, hypothetically, we move up from where we at now, 11th. If we move up from we move up from 11th to the top 4. That's going to change the whole perspective of the game. I mean, the off season too, man. You know, you could put a first rounder to somebody. You know, this year's pick, man. That's going to be big. Hey, we still have another pick. Later in the first round or the early second round or something like that too. So
right now, yeah. Let's see where we at with the draft. Right quick, and I'll see what they're doing. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the off season, man. I'm looking forward to everything that's going on, and what they can accomplish out there, man. And I think they got a lot of stuff that they can go on. They got a lot of ideas, a lot of thing to roll on, man. So I'm really looking excited to see. They got a lot of stuff to think about, man. I wouldn't want to be the Knick contingent right now. I guess I wouldn't want to be. I think I would be wouldn't have no problem being in the front office right now, because I'll be trying to wheel and deal for sure. But it's gonna be interesting, man. We got to stay locked in, man. Keep our ears to the ground, our eyes open, man, and see what the Knicks gonna do. And everybody out there, man, y'all see that name up there, Dope Soul Sports Talk. Make sure y'all go down there and hit the queen up, man. Real talk, man. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Y'all support the sister, man. She's one of the few women out here giving us content from the Knicks perspective.
Real content
from a woman's perspective. Y'all make sure y'all go down there and make it happen. Real talk, man. She ain't there. She on NBK all day, every day, man. Y'all get it popping, sister Steph. You know we love you. We appreciate you too. Real talk. And when we get it popping, man. But yeah, we got that draft coming up, man. It's gonna be interesting. I'm dying to see what they could do with that. What they could do moving forward with the draft, man. I think Walt Perrin gonna hit on something. That's what I'm kind of happy about. I'm confident in Walt Perrin. He puts me at ease with the Knicks front office when it comes to drafting. I'm not too concerned about that, man. I really am. I really mean that. I think he got an eye for talent. But whether we keep it or not, that remain to be seen. I don't know what they're gonna do with that pick. Like I said, if they go young, they might say, you know what? They might draft somebody back at Obi Toppin. They might draft a point guard. They might draft another wing. I know they're gonna be willing and dealing. I think Brock Allen them already got their pencil sharpened up already. So we'll see what them boys gonna do for the Knicks, man. But I'm looking forward to it no matter what. I think we're gonna be all right in that area. I'm not too much concerned with that. We'll see how it go. But salute to the chat, man. Everybody, thank y'all for coming in tonight, man. I know this off season, but we try to keep it in all day, every day. We'll be back on Sunday, man. But like I said, y'all make sure y'all check out Queen. Everybody, man. Blowings, Ted. Make sure y'all go check out NBK. Everybody, man. CT, the Streets of Buzzing, whoever out there. Y'all support all these brothers and sisters, man, out here trying to bring us this content, because we know without you cats, we ain't no reason for us to be doing it whatsoever. But we appreciate y'all for sure, man. Chop Howell, my brother, give me some word before you get out of here, man. And we can get ready for the grind tomorrow.
Yo, you already know, Divine. Salute to you, Divine. Salute to the chat is where it's at. And let's stay positive. Stay positive and be on here for Sunday show, man. Sunday, man. I'm gonna go do some homework about my man Mitchell Robinson, man. That's one of the guys I really hope that we could try to keep, man. But we see what happens, man. Good show tonight, Divine. Let's get it.
Yeah. Hey, Queen, I hope so, man. Hey, wild as you are, but hey, no matter what we do, we doing it for the fan base. But I think we good though. I think we good no matter which way we go, Queen. I think whether we go big game hunting or we do the young thing. I am kind of excited about it though. I mean, like I said, we got some interesting stuff going on, man, in New York, man. We just got to hope that they can put it all together for us, man. But we got a lot of opportunity to do a lot of things, though, no matter what. And I really think that we're going to be proud of this team next year, man. I was disappointed that we didn't. I'm disappointed that we didn't make the playoffs. But what I'm not disappointed about is the maturation of the talent we got. This young energy that we have here. I think they got a chance to be special if they put in the work, which I think they will. I think they're going to all season putting in work, try to get better. And if we can bring in some veterans and go with them, or if we keep what we got, hey, if we keep these guys, I'm good either way. So I just want us to be successful. You know what I mean? I just want us to have a good season from a Knicks standpoint and the fan base. We got something to be proud of because we put a lot of energy into loving the Knicks. You know what I mean? I mean, we do. We as fans, that ain't a loyal fan base in the world like us. Maybe other than them bandwagon Cowboy fans, I ain't really doing. So I Cowboy fans up in there, so that's why I had to throw that out there. But other than that, other than Yankee fans and Mets, and I mean, New York got the loyalist fan base when it comes to sports. They really serious about the sports, man. And New York City Knicks basketball is synonymous with New York and basketball. That's why they call it the Mecca, because it's where all them courts on them streets is for a reason. You know, you can go in the playground, see brothers balling all the time. You know what I mean?
Right.
And brothers balling all the time. You know what I mean? And that's why we want the Knicks to be successful. You know, but that's why we support them, whether they're doing bad or good. We come out to represent them because they represent something for me, man. Hey, when we had the black and white TV with the antennas with the lunar foil on the handles, I was playing back then. You know what I mean? So we even thought about no cable. You know what I mean? When we was just had the old TV, just getting color TVs and watching the garden. So it's a way of life for us, man. It's a really way of life for a lot of us guys, man. So we appreciate the Knicks, man. It ain't about Jay Dolan and all them. It's about the Knicks. I don't care who it is. It's about the Knicks. I love the Knicks because it's the Knicks, not because who own it. I just want to see Knicks basketball, man. I want to see that orange and blue. You know what I mean? That's what it is. But yo, salute everybody, man. Y'all have a great Friday. The weekend is always upon us, man. The NBA is pretty much popular right now with some good games out there on there. I can't front, man. I don't watch a lot of NBA. I watch a lot of Knicks basketball, but I'm impressed with the playoffs this year because
I am too. There's some good matchups, man.
Oh my goodness, that Brooklyn series is ridiculous.
There's some good matchups. For it to be the first round of the playoffs, the matchups are tough.
Man, I tell you what. Now if Booker went down, you better watch out for Brandon Ingram and them dudes, man.
Facts.
Yo, New Orleans got some shit with them, bro. I'm like, I think they go to New Orleans and win one or two of them games. You know what I mean? Yeah, God, that Nick P, man. I'll see you Sunday, man. Yeah, we just about to get off, man. We've been on for a minute, but peace for coming in, though, my brother. And we'll be on Sunday, man. Listen, we got the Mitchell Robinson popping off Sunday. We're gonna break down his season, his stats, and all that, man. But I tell you what, like I said, hey, Jarvis, CJ McCullough could have been the best thing happened to them. You talking about the best trade of the year? I thought the Cam Reddish trade probably was the best trade of the year for me, but CJ McCullough going out to New Orleans was a good move, man.
That was a banger move right there, man.
Right there. I mean, you talking
that
about
was a banger right there, man.
And now
that changed their whole perspective, man.
Yeah, man. And you know what? It makes it so bad. Now that Devin Booker went down, right? Okay, CJ McCullough and Chris Paul cancels each other out. There's nobody on that squad that can do what Brandon Ingram can do on the Phoenix Suns. You know what I mean? So it's like they still got two of their prime players. They lost one of their prime players right now, but I got to give Troy. He is that brother, man. He balling. But what's the young man? Murphy the third, Colorado. See, these young boys is blending them with giving them that energy. See, that's what I was kind of hoping with the Obi Toppin and Emmanuel Quickly. Put them in with somebody like them two guys to get that extra energy. Cause think about it. Let's say if Zion stay there, Valanciunas, Zion, Brandon Ingram, CJ McCollum, whoever you put at that one, that team would be formidable, bro. That would. So I mean, I like what I got to give David Griffin his flowers out there in New Orleans, man. He did the right thing with that man. Now they got them boys on the cusp of, got a chance to take the Phoenix Suns out there because Devin Booker got a hamstring. He might miss game 3 and 4. They got a chance to, and I know Phoenix is the defending Western Conference champions, but you got to remember how they lost last year. And then if it wasn't for Paul George going down, they might not even got to the finals last year. If Paul George and the Clippers in that game 7 he get hurt, he didn't play. They still might not have been there. So it's gonna be interesting, man. But the NBA is pretty good right now. I like the games. Chicago beat Milwaukee last night. DeMar DeRozan is on another level, bro. He is on another level out there right now, man. Yeah, so it's gonna be fun, man. And we'll get there one day, man. Like I said, we only a couple of players away. Whether we go young or the other way.
Build the youth. Build the youth. Build the youth to build the stock. That's what we got to do. Build the youth. Build the stock. if a big fish come out, we build these guys up. It's easy to make easier to make a big trade, man. Build these guys up, man. Let them play.
Yep. All right. Well, we out, man. Y'all cats. Boston is playing. Yo, hey Jarvis. See, that's what I'm looking at KD and Kyrie. Man, if them cats would have came to New York and they going through this here, I'm so glad we didn't make that move. I'm really not, because we didn't hamstring this franchise. Oh, no drama, none of that. You know, if it wasn't for the Julius Randle drama and Kemba Walker this year, we wouldn't have really been no noise in New York this year. You know what I mean? Other than the Kemba Walker benching and Julius Randle stuff, the actions he went through. But man, you look at what they're going through there in Brooklyn. See, that's the reason why I want to do it the way we do it at Shop House. Let me make this point real quick. We get out of here. Brooklyn Nets went out there when they did it the other way. When they had what's my man named the coach Kenny Atkinson. When they had Karis LeVert, they had Jared Allen. They were starting to build. Yeah, then they were building the way we was building. Right now they went and got KD, Kyrie, James Harden, and they still ain't getting nowhere yet. They've been there 3 years. Kyrie, KD, well, Kyrie at the time, but they switched out James Harden and all that. But think about it, they ain't won nothing. You know, and let that have been the Knicks, man. Yeah, this fan base would have been wilding. You know what I mean? So I'm glad to just go hang out with the youth a little bit for a year or two, man. We'll get there. But it's a sight to see. The best time I had this year was the last week of the season. The pace, the topping them was playing with pace. Ball was moving up and down the court. Yeah. Yo, I mean, it was like that's the basketball we want to see. Up and down the court with pace. Cats dropping down. And we still didn't have Quentin Grimes. We still didn't have certain cats that could come in the young boys and play. We still didn't have Cam Reddish. I think if Quentin Grimes didn't go down, we would have been fighting for that play-in. I think when we lost Quentin Grimes, I think that's when the play-in was just about over. We missed that one. That I think when he went down, it kind of it took that real good shot of opportunity to get in that play-in. They nice with that stuff, man. Let's hope they can do that, man. Let's run them. You know, what I mean, bring some good players in there with them. If we run it back, we run it back. But I like the other direction, man. We've been doing this thing for a long time. Ready to change it up. But yo, salute to the chat, man. I always try to keep it in a little bit longer for you guys, but you know, y'all, we got to get on the grind. Salute to everybody. Nick P, my man. Salute to you, Jarvis, my brother, Louisiana. Everybody in the building. Peace to the God, D Cool, Queens Court, Keith Turner. Everybody, man. Let's get it popping. Agent Argo, Jet for life, my man. Everybody, man, salute. RKL, I want to say that right. Bias, salute to you. Forgive me, Walter White, my man, salute to you. Cash Out, my brother, Agent. Salute. Net J, salute to you as well. Salute everybody, man. Let's go in there and get a King Ribby, my brother, salute to you as well. Keith Turner again. All my family, man. Fabian, my brother, salute to you as well. Agent Super Argo, salute to you. Salute to the whole Nick conglomerate, man. Real talk, man. We up in here, man, all the time. KJ, my brother, salute to you as well. We'll see you on the flip side Sunday, man. Hope you join yourself with the Canal, my brother, salute to you as well. Salute. Will, man, salute to you. Colorado in the building. Yo, salute everybody, man. Hey, my brother, Shaw Powers, dog. I'll holler at you later. Next week, family. We see y'all. We out, brother. Peace.
King Ribby, peace, salute. Let's get it.
Word.